G'day there, traders and friends right around the world. Thanks for joining me on this Tuesday afternoon market recap. What I'll just give you a summary of what's going on with the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the S&P and the Nasdaq, then walk through some stocks which have triggered as per our Pivot Point Pro analysis workshop, which we go through each and every weekend. Today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was up close to 150 points. Again, we're struggling right around this resistance level. You can see that we haven't broken above this 17,960 level, and we're still yet to break above the swing highs going back to late December. But given, of course, this candlestick pattern right here and the type of sentiment, the type of chart consolidation which we've seen, it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever to see this market finally break out above this 18,164 level and start to set up some form of a trending market for the next couple of months as we transition further into 2015. The same is true for the S&P 500. After yesterday's sort of null day, nothing really happened on Monday's trading session. You can see here we had a little inside day spinning top, but today the S&P broke out up about 23 points. Same as the Dow Jones Industrial Average. We're yet to break above the resistance level in the S&P, and we're yet to break above that swing high going back to December 2014. But once we get above around 2,101 or 2,100, that psychological round number, you can expect the markets to continue in the bullish trend long term. Same is true with the Nasdaq. Finally, Nasdaq is the closest market to breaking out when you put them in comparison to one another. You can see we're still running into relative resistance levels, but the swing high established in late December is really only a couple of points away. If we get another 65-point update, we're going to be at least relative to that swing high. If not, we may be above it, and we'll be very close to that 4,838 level on the Nasdaq, suggesting that, of course, price is going to finally get out of this ugly, messy chop fest which we've been in for the past 2.5 months, and that this market could potentially again break out and start to trend. Now, some of the stocks which we follow in that pro analysis class have broken out, which is good to see. One of those stocks is pretty much the leader of the market, which of course is Apple, breaking above that 120.96 level as at Tuesday's trading session. At the moment, of course, if you're in this, place a stop. I'd place it around 119.44, put it below the open of this window right here. This is going to act as support in the event that Apple comes back down, it retests, and then it sets up for a bounce continuation. At the moment, Apple is a fantastic trade, very profitable for us. It closed at 122.11. And again, it's got some nice upper targets if it wants to trend. First target on Apple, just shy of $130 to the upside. Now, putting that, or at least looking at the counterpart or the flip side of that, is a bearish trade which we've been triggered into. This is GoPro. Now, GoPro we got triggered into on Monday's trading session around 44.88. We can see a little bit of continuation today. We closed down at $43.70, so we've made about $1.20 almost on this particular trade to the downside. If you are in GoPro, such as myself, what I'd suggest to do is just place a stop above the high of today's candlestick. Going through the markets again, the markets are looking quite healthy. They're looking resilient. They're looking quite strong. So GoPro at the moment, it is profitable. It is 2 from 2 to say for the beginning of the week. That's meant to be it too. Just limit your risk, limit it as little as possible, and then we'll just see what the net movement is in our overall positions, which is going to give us a green light at the end of the trading week. In the way of other trades, based off that pro analysis class, Amazon is still yet to trigger. We're still waiting for that trade. Alibaba is bouncing off from that macro support level, going back to about $84 a share. Still yet to trigger on Baba. Baidu reporting earnings tomorrow after the close. The same is true with Tesla. So sit tight on these two particular trades. They will come to us. Netflix is presenting very, very nice. You have the entries on that particular stock. Halliburton's just following the price of oil again as it takes a little bit of a pullback to the downside. You know my thoughts on oil and oil-based securities. Until the price of the US dollar, I'm going to bring this up again, until the price of the US dollar changes its appreciation or changes its bullish trend in appreciation, then there's going to be downward pressure on the price of commodities, also oil, right? When I mean commodities, I'm talking mostly about gold and silver. And as you can see, those types of commodities which have broken out are really pulling back down to these old levels which we've been paying attention to. So you can see how the US dollar is really significantly weighing on all commodities across all of the broader types of markets. GoPro I've referenced breaking down. Google's looking quite strong. Again, pay attention to that trigger which I gave you in Pro. Facebook is very neutral. It's very flat. You can see why I was reluctant to give you a bearish trade or a bullish trade. It's just simply consolidating. It's a bit ugly. No real trade right there. FAS is back above our long at 120.92, so this is another okay trade. Personally, I'm not in FAS. I didn't have it set up from last week, but it's looking pretty healthy. Caterpillar is still trying to, or at least it hit our target at 84.73. It's closed the gap. I'd stay patient and just leave Caterpillar as it is. Don't be looking to aggressively trade that. I've covered Baidu, I've covered Baba, I've covered Apple, and I've also covered Amazon. Let Amazon be. So that's a Tuesday afternoon market recap. I wish you all a very nice rest of the week. Pay attention to Apple. Pay attention to GoPro. Pay attention, of course, to Netflix as well. That's another nice looking stock. Tesla, again, and Baidu presenting earnings as at Wednesday after market. So expect a nice gap and go trade potentially to finish off the market for the rest of the week. All the best, ladies and gentlemen. Catch you later. Goodbye.